Brackets and braces. Brackets. Brackets look similar to parentheses, but they are not curved lines, they are squared lines. Some people call them square brackets. Something that can be confusing is that these symbols, parentheses and brackets, have different names in American English and in British English. In American English, parentheses are called parentheses and brackets are called brackets. In British English, parentheses are called brackets and brackets are called square brackets. In this course, we are using the American English version. Brackets rules. In most cases, brackets don't have a period or full stop inside them. My father said, "I don't like your friend, Johnny." There can be periods or full stops inside brackets if they are part of abbreviations. You must use another period outside the brackets to finish the sentence. The director said, "For this year's party, let's invite our most loyal clients, Mrs. Romansky, Mr. and Mrs. Alvarez, Mr. O'Toole, etc." The spaces for brackets are exactly the same as the ones for parentheses. When the Emperor of Japan visited New York, his first words were, "Ohio, good morning, my friends." Correct spaces. Incorrect, too many spaces inside the brackets. Incorrect, no spaces outside the brackets. Uses of brackets. Although parentheses and brackets look similar, they have different uses. It is very common to use brackets when you are including additional information to what someone said, quotes. Brackets are commonly used by writers and editorials to include more information. In informal communication, with your friends and family, it's very rare that you use brackets. It's also somewhat rare in business communication, like letters, mails, or memos in an office. However, if you write articles for journals or magazines, reports, or books, it's more probable you will use them. Maybe you will need to use brackets when you write your thesis. These are the uses of brackets, including new information or indications, clarify parts that could be missing, or words that need clarification, putting more information inside parentheses, translations in quotes, indicate an error in a quote using sick, indicate an emotion in a quote, censoring a quote. Brackets for new information or indications. Brackets can be used if you want to indicate more information about a text. For example, you can indicate where the text comes from or where it was written. The director of the company gave a new message in an email he sent to all the workers. "We are working hard to make our company a place where all employees will feel safe and respected." Original text. The section inside the brackets indicates this text is taken directly from the email the director sent to the company. "I have been learning a lot from the people on this island and their fascinating culture." George Brown, missionary in Samoa. Brackets are also helpful when the author wants to give an indication to the readers. The two buildings have been connected with a bridge on the 5th floor. See photograph at the top of the page. This concludes the unit on safety measures. Please go to the next topic. Brackets for missing parts and clarifications. When we write quotes, we indicate exactly what someone else said. In a conversation, a person can sometimes omit an important part because it was obvious at that moment. However, if you write that part of the conversation, it's important to describe what the person omitted. These omissions or missing parts must be written in brackets. The movie director mentioned, "I'm very honored to be nominated, but I don't think I will be able to go to the Oscars ceremony." The movie director didn't say the part "to the Oscars ceremony." Maybe it was obvious because they were talking about this ceremony. Nevertheless, the quote would be incomplete or hard to understand without the text included inside the brackets. In other cases, the person we are quoting didn't omit a part, but he or she may have used a word that is vague, like a pronoun, or words like there, that, those, something, etc. We can use brackets to clarify what the vague word means. The captain of the soccer team said, "I am very happy with them, the two new players in the team. They are definitely valuable additions to our team." In this case, the captain of the team only said them. Who are them? Who is the captain talking about? We can use brackets to clarify that them refers to the two new players who have joined the soccer team. The senator responded, "We always listen to the people, don't worry, we will take care of that." a law that punishes people who throw garbage in the parks. That is a vague word, but the text inside the brackets clarifies it. Brackets inside parentheses. Some sentences may be very complex, with many explanations needed. Parentheses can be used to include additional information or explain a part of the sentence, but sometimes we need a secondary explanation. Maybe the text inside the parentheses needs more information. In these cases, we use brackets inside parentheses. At the convention, Yeonmi Park narrated how she escaped from North Korea. She has written a book about this called In Order to Live, published by Penguin Books. Note, in American English, it's not correct to put parentheses inside other parentheses. Additional information inside parentheses is written in brackets. However, in British English, that is not a problem. The same sentence would look like this in the UK. At the convention, Yeonmi Park narrated how she escaped from North Korea. She has written a book about this called In Order to Live, published by Penguin Books. Brackets for translations. When there are words, phrases, or short sentences in a quote that are different from English, we can use brackets to show the translation. We all laughed when my uncle said, "The only thing I learned from my Portuguese classes was, posso ir ao banheiro? May I go to the bathroom?" Important, we use brackets when we translate a part of a quote. If the translation is not part of a quote, we use parentheses. Today, the students learned how to say a Norwegian word, tak, thank you. This is not a quote, we use parentheses. The ambassador from Norway said, "People of Mexico, tak, thank you." This is a quote, we use brackets. Indicate an error in a quote using sick. Remember that when we write quotes, we indicate exactly what someone else said or wrote. In some cases, the person we are quoting may have said something incorrectly. If you write this mistake, the readers may think that it was you who made the mistake. To avoid this, we use a phrase that goes in brackets. Sick. Sick comes from the Latin sic erat, which means that is the way it was. You can use it to indicate that is the way it was said or that is the way it was written. Mr. Evans said, "I really enjoyed my vacation in Mexico. The two things I liked the most were listening to the people speak in Mexican, sick, and the food." Here, sick indicates a mistake that Mr. Evans made. There is no Mexican language, because the language in Mexico is Spanish. Sometimes, when there's a mistake in a quote, we can use brackets and a question mark instead of sick if we think we know what the person wanted to say. Mr. Evans also said, "I hope I can go to Puerto Vallarta again." Brackets for emotions in quotes. If you want to indicate that a quote was said in a particular emotion, happiness, anger, sadness, etc., or in a certain way, shouting, with emphasis, nervously, etc., you can mention this inside brackets. Their mother said, with anger, "I told you to clean your room before you went to the party. These chocolates are only for you," emphasis added. Brackets for censorship. When a quote contains words that you consider inappropriate for the people who will read it, you can censor these words with an indication in brackets. You can substitute the words with expletive, which means someone said a bad word, or simply writing, censored. She was so angry when her car broke down that she shouted, "I hate this expletive car." He started making inappropriate comments to her, like saying, "Hey, I like your," censored. Braces. Braces are the most rare and uncommon of all the punctuation marks. You will only see them and use them a few times in very specific situations. Braces are mostly used for non-specific lists. Braces rules. The spaces for braces are exactly the same as the ones for parentheses and brackets. They gave us a list of months, April, June, July, October, November, December, where we could take a vacation. Correct spaces. Incorrect. Too many spaces inside the braces. Important, a special rule of braces is that you never include words like and or inside the braces. Peru, Argentina, Uruguay, Venezuela. Uses of braces. In mathematics, braces are sometimes found in complex formulas and algebra equations. In texts, braces only have three uses: indicating non-specific lists, grouping sets, adding information inside brackets. Braces for non-specific lists. Braces are used in lists where all the parts have the same value and no specific order. For example, this sentence should not have braces. There are different university levels: bachelor's degree, master's degree, doctorate, postdoctoral. These levels or degrees have a specific order. You can't do a master's degree if you haven't done a bachelor's degree. This sentence should use parentheses and include a conjunction. There are different university levels: bachelor's degree, master's degree, doctorate, and postdoctoral. This sentence uses braces correctly. Many streaming services, HBO Max, Netflix, Mubi, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, are available these days. There is no specific order for the streaming services in this list. Notice that the words and or are not included. Braces for grouping sets. We can use braces to indicate that a set of words or phrases is part of the same set or category. In this case, we don't use the pair of braces. We only use one of the lines. It is more common to use the secondary brace or closing brace. Example: periods or full stops, question marks, exclamation points, ellipses, commas, semicolons, colons, parentheses, brackets and braces, quotation marks, apostrophe, slash, dashes and hyphens. All of them are punctuation marks. The brace must be long enough to include all the parts of the list. Otherwise, people may think that the sections that are not in the area covered by the brace are not part of the list. North, west, east, south are the cardinal directions. North, west, east, south are the cardinal directions. The triangular part of the brace must be in the direction of the title of the list or set, not the other way around. North, west, east, south are the cardinal directions. Braces for information inside brackets. If you need to include additional information to the text inside brackets, write that information in braces. The supervisor said, with sarcasm. Also, imagine a very nasal voice. Oh, don't worry. You never make any mistakes. In very rare and informal cases, you may see braces inside brackets that are inside parentheses. Their house, located in the northern part of the city, you know, where the rich, very, very rich people live, has 8 bedrooms. These sentences are only used in informal conversations. They may be considered too long and complicated because they contain many ideas within the same sentence.